Yes, yes. Easy.
Certainly.
How you doing?
All good, mate. You?
Yeah, cool. Welcome everyone. Let's get rid of the countdown clock.
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
You know, my
It's a UK
friend's my
thing.
friend's dad did that music.
Yeah, yeah, I remember you saying.
Big up
So
Kirsty, big up Alan Hawkshaw, the guy that did it, and
that's one. That's one for the pub, innit? Whenever pubs reopen, that's a pub story, innit?
yeah,
I
good
think.
old Alan Hawkshaw and Kirsty Hawkshaw. So welcome everybody. Yes, Francesca, that track. I sent you the masters. So we opened the Q&A with a track by False Relation called Bootstrap Paradox. And that one's coming out on E&B Recordings. And I sent you the master today, Frankie, so let me know what you think of that. So welcome to this live Q&A on the EBRSL graded syllabus, which is a new course we recently launched on education and base, where you can work towards an accreditation. It's up to level 3 education in UK standards, so kind of towards A level, BTEC, FE sort of level education. And we've been asked a load of questions, so we figured we would just put it live, go through the structure, open it up to you, girls and guys, for any questions you might have, and then hopefully you will join us on the February cohort. So we've got my man Nerve in the house. Raf, how you doing, mate?
Yes, all good, thank you. And
Wicked.
hello, everyone. I hope everyone's good.
Yeah, mad times out there. So hopefully we
Yeah.
can give you something to focus on for the next year on the EBRSL graded syllabus. We're going out
Mm.
live on YouTube, the Education and Base Facebook page, and the Nominee Sound Facebook page. As we go through the presentation, please do drop some questions in the comments, and we'll make sure, if we don't cover them throughout, we'll get to your questions as well. And yeah, so I think we'll get stuck straight in. So we've partnered with Rock School London, who are internationally recognised for their creative arts accreditation, all levels of education, all the way up to university level. They provide industry recognised qualifications as well. The industry tend to take the RSL qualifications that much more seriously, because they're both academically and industry rigorous. So they're quite challenging, but in the right ways. Obviously, we can go through college and university and gain a qualification, but it's what we do with that afterwards. How do we actually do something with it? How do we enter the industry? How do we get a job? How do we put ourselves out there as an artist? And it's been a long time coming for us here at Education and Base to finally be able to offer some sort of accreditation and a pathway into maybe an area that you didn't think was going to be a possibility for you. I myself, I'll put me back on. It's just a bit rude to just have a title screen there. I myself returned back to education 20 years later, after being told I was a rubbish student. And actually, I was a rubbish student. Didn't do my homework. Got entered for all my GCSEs, but failed them all. Ungraded, Fs. Just wasn't for me. Sitting at a table against the clock to do an exam wasn't for me. And I just, throughout my kind of experience at school, being told that maybe he's clever and doesn't use his brain, or maybe he's lazy, kind of embedded into me that I was a bad student, and that's what I believed. Many years later, well, more than 20 years later, I returned back to education to do a master's degree in advanced music technology. And that was off the back of being in the music industry as a drum and bass DJ producer. I was very blessed and fortunate enough to travel around the world following my dream as a drum and bass DJ. I was making music for the likes of Metalheads, Function Records, Commercial Suicide, and many of the top drum and bass labels that I looked up to. So I'd kind of ticked off quite a few boxes with regards to some of my dreams and goals, but scratched my head in 2012. Things were starting to slow down, my motivation, the bookings, the cash flow, and I was like, well, what else do I actually have outside of what I know in the music industry, which was actually more than I thought, to be honest. But at the time I thought it was just DJing and making music. So I returned back to education. I did a master's. I was accepted onto that through my industry experience. And what I learned was beyond belief. I didn't actually believe in education. I was one of those people, you don't need an education. What I learned, time management, business management, research skills, projects, timelines. I've now managed to build a business with some really good friends, close colleagues, education and base. We help educate people all over the world. I'm still very much an active artist, both as Nominee and Outrage, and it's a blessing to be able to share and hand down the knowledge that we accumulated and actually that we made up. A lot of us were self-taught and we made our own rules as we went along. Most of us didn't read the manuals. We just twiddled a few parameters on a few synths or a PlayStation control pad. If you were using Music 2000 on the PlayStation, I know Raf will have a few stories to say about that. And just making noise, juggling frequencies. But now I'm a massive, massive believer that in these whole, I'm going to sound like a teacher now, these transferable skills from what you can learn if you apply yourself within education. And actually it helped me fill in all the gaps. I knew that after 20 years of making music, or 15 years or whatever it was at the time, I knew if I press this button, it does this. But I didn't know why. At the time, I didn't care about why, but now I see the value of that why. To learn about the theory of sound, synthesis, how to analyze music, research, all of this now, when I go about making music as an artist, I can listen to a track, analyze it, recreate sounds. I can dig deep into research, trace genres back to their very essence and follow the timeline to find inspiration. I was introduced to the world of avant-garde experimental music, John Cage, Stockhausen, which informed my sound design. So we're here to kind of talk to you about the beginning of potentially that pathway for you as an adult learner, or even somebody that's came out of school, not quite sure what you want to do, and hopefully along the way introduce you to a pathway that can help you get into the industry as well, because you can be the most talented DJ producer in the world. But what do you do with that? If you haven't got the hustle, the know-how, the business knowledge, and all that other stuff, the branding, the knowing about social media and entrepreneurship and all that kind of good stuff, then how are you actually going to do something with it? You might just want to be a beat juggler or a DJ, that's fine. But filling in those gaps can also be of great value. So that's me. We started Education and Base to help educate and share to people like yourselves. And this is the first step towards our mission in providing a whole education accredited platform for anyone from the ultimate beginner to the seasoned pro and beyond. Now I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Nerve, aka Raf, aka Demon, aka Rafa D, aka Education and Base Don since day dot.
Thank you very much. That's a nice intro. Yeah, just quickly on the music thing. The music 2000 on the PlayStation. I'm sure that the first one was actually called Music, and then come Music 2000. But that was the first piece of software, the first ever sort of thing I ever had with ADSR. I learned what attack, decay, sustain, release was from using that on the PlayStation. That was the first thing I ever took, the first piece of information that I ever absorbed to do with music production. And it's quite lucky, really, because my next step was an Akai sampler, which was an S2000, and it didn't have a lot going on with it, but the one thing it did have was ADSR. So I really got to grips with that. But yeah, I left school when I was about 15. I played truant for quite a few years. When I was about 13, I never went to school much. I didn't really like it. I always just wanted to be a DJ. From the age of 14, I kind of got the bug, slowly stopped going to school. And then they put me on an extended work experience, which I was meant to be going to school for 2 days and work in a record shop for 3 days. I actually started school for 3 days, work in a record shop for 2 days. So I was going to work in the record shop for 2 days and still not going to school. And then slowly they just stopped trying to make me go to school. So my point being, I was actually exposed to the business side of music at a very young age. I didn't know it at the time, and I certainly didn't embrace that and sort of utilized that side of it. But now looking back on it, the guy that owned the record shop was in the best way, in the good use of the word, he was a hustler in the music industry. In it, Casey Andrew, he was like the epitome of, he just knew what to do, and he was a bit rough around the edges and whatnot. But thinking back to all the things that he did now, wow, it's gold, really. He knew how to dig deep when he needed to. As a DJ back in the early noughties or the late 90s, he was kind of epitomizes what it was like to really have multiple different streams of revenue as an active person in the music industry. He didn't just DJ, he put on nights, he ran a record shop, sold vinyl with it. He'd done absolutely everything. And yeah, just looking back on that now, I certainly didn't embrace it now, and I certainly weren't taking notes back then, like 25 years ago or whenever. But I look back now and I think, wow, he really was that. And I do think that a little bit probably rubbed off on Andrew as well with that side of it, because Andrew used to come to that record shop, and you know, he's a bit older than me and stuff. But yeah, that was a
bit older. Yeah, I'm actually there.
Well, just slightly, only by a couple months. But it was yeah, it was very interesting experience, even looking back then. But yeah, you know, much like Andrew, I'm self-taught as a music producer. And to be honest, when I started working for Education and Bass, I really had to I went on a massive learning journey myself, because I had to make sure that what I was doing, it's all well and good me saying, yeah, just turn this dial and press that button and you get this sound. But I needed to be able to really relay that to people in a layman's sort of lay person's terms, to, you know, to help sort of facilitate the learning. And I'm still learning to this day. I'm so blessed and so fortunate to be around people that I am day in, day out. I love learning, and my whole thing is, my passion is to learn, and my purpose is to teach it on. Everything that I learn, I do my best to absorb it, because I know that I'm going to want to share that with someone, even if it's in the next breath or whether it's a week later. So yeah, it's a perfect environment for me. You know, as like a music producer, as you know, an educator, an instructor, and somebody that works for E&B. So yeah, I would kind of tell you my story about what I've done, but I think probably some people might know, it might not. But you know, if you, yeah,
just know, yeah, Raf's a Don. He's been around it for the best part of 2.5 decades.
Yeah,
various genres and subgenres of bass music, and you know, contributed towards certainly underground bass music in the UK as we know it, whether you're talking about grime, dubstep, now venturing into drum and bass. So we like to think at E&B you're in safe hands. Much of our tutors are, well, all of them are still very much active in the industry. And it's one thing we take pride in, is the fact that they can also teach. So you can, you know, it doesn't mean that if you're a Don at synthesis that you can necessarily teach it, because it's difficult. So we take pride in our tutor database and foundation to be those that are experienced, and they can teach, and they're still very much active in an industry that moves so quickly as well. You know, the industry changes all the time. So let's get stuck into this mini presentation on the course. I'm seeing some comments and stuff come in. People from Romania, Bulgaria, Lithuania, worldwide tonight. Thank you very much. So we're going to get stuck in. Please, again, drop any questions in the comments, whether it be on the Nominate Facebook, E&B Facebook, or the YouTube, and we'll make sure we get to them. Okay, so as I've said, it's a graded syllabus for an internationally recognised qualification that is put together by Rock School. We've done the introductions. Now, tutors on the course include, obviously, Raf, Mr. Nerve, myself. We have Occult, Ben X equals X, Lee Head that doesn't have a head. Still didn't get a photo from Lee. Tim's Special Circumstances, and we have guest tutors such as Digital, Sim, and many more. Now, the EBRSL course was built off the back of our Ultimate Music Production course that we ran for 2 years. We saw hundreds of learners successfully go through that course autonomously using a variety of different software into a variety of different genres. And we just wanted to attach, first of all, more learning to it. So the course was around about 30 hours. Now it's about 90 hours, and it's over a year instead of over 30 weeks. It's 42 weeks of delivery, and then 10 weeks to prepare for exams, coursework, and listening tests. So the graded syllabus that we're delivering from grades 1 to grade 6. Now, grade 1 is the equivalent to level 1 in the UK education system. I'm not sure on the equivalent in other countries, apologies for that. And it goes up to college, what we call FE, further education level, level 3. And that is grade 6. Each learner, over 42 weeks, will be learning everything from grade 1 to grade 6. So that is the existing 30-week course as it stands, and we'll go into the details of what you'll be learning, which is more the practical side of it. And then there's the extra content, the graded syllabus content, where we work towards training your ears up to be able to identify intervals in musicality, scales, chords, the differences between different audio formats, and just generally training the ears up, which is another thing that my master's introduced me to. Our ears are just like a muscle. Like if you listen to classical music for long enough, like I did, you can train your ears up to be able to detect a bum note if you're tone deaf, like I was. I had classical FM on in my car for a whole year, and now I can hear the slightest drift of a bum note. But it took a year of non-stop training for me to get my ears to that point. And if I'm not conscious about it for long enough, I can lose that. So the ears are very much muscles that can be trained up, and to be able to listen to something and to be able to analyze something is a very, very powerful thing. So that's what the listening tests prepare us for. The exam is basically multiple choice, where it's based on the theory that you'll be learning. So again, I'll go into detail about the actual topics and stuff you'll learn, but things like synthesis, a lot of terminology, because one thing's for sure is this is a language. Even after me making music for 10 years, in the wrong company for me, because I didn't understand the words and the terminology, making out that I'm a professional that's been making music for like 10, 15 years, and then I sit down amongst some industry professionals and they may as well be talking a whole nother new language, which they were, and I didn't know half of what I thought I knew just because I didn't know the theory or the terminology, simply just the words. So we go a lot into learning the words and the language of music technology. Even some of the lower level content, if you're kind of intermediate, and I know Nerv will testify to this when we were writing the Ultimate Music Production course, even some of the lower level content, if it's using terminology and theory that you just don't use on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to know it. Isn't that right, Raf? And there were things in the course where you were like, I didn't know that stuff, and it was great just to be a part of that content or to see it.
Exactly. Well, this is, just going back to what I was saying, I'm learning every single day. Still this morning, Sunday, I was learning stuff and writing this course or contributing towards writing this course. I could sit down and write a comprehensive course on synthesis, writing crazy bass lines, and I can do that at the drop of a hat, not even think twice. But to write a 5 to 7 minute video on something, proper terminologies, bearing in mind that there could be anyone from a complete beginner to an advanced person using this content, it took longer for me to do that. I had to record it multiple times. And throughout the process of writing just this one video, I was Googling words and terminologies because I need to make sure that it's right. Now, I need to know it for myself anyway, but it was an amazing journey. And once we recorded it, I think it was amazing to see it in all its glory. And I learned a lot, like even, the course starts with what is a DAW? And a lot of people, if you say that to some people, they'll go, well, it's the thing that's on the front of my house, or the thing that's on the back of my house, a DAW. It's not, it's digital audio workstation. And it's as simple as that. Some people don't even know what that is. And even recording them little first parts of that content to do with Ableton and navigating around I learned things about Ableton. I was like, oh, wow, no, I never knew you could do that. Oh, that makes that a lot easier. I was doing it the long way all the time. So yeah, it's it needs to be done very carefully and you know, just put together in a very sort of different way than it would be you know, a piece of content that you're comfortable sort of recording.
And just
Definitely.
learning that language, if you know the basic language to learn, if you're reading an article from Sound on Sound and you don't know what the words mean, but you're an intermediate, but you've missed that gap of like the basic kind of terminology and theory, you're actually going to scupper your potential to learn more. So it kind of all goes hand in hand. So the course starts off reasonable at a beginner level and ramps up quite quickly. And we always cater for differentiation, which means we've carefully designed the course to cater for beginners, intermediate and advanced learners. But at the beginning of the course, where the lower level base content might be what you're engaging with, we will always stretch and challenge you. So we will always provide extension tasks and signpost you to other challenging areas on the website in amongst the other 2,000 tutorials, courses and lectures we have on the same topics. So you'll never be sitting there twiddling your thumbs, even if there's the actual delivery for that week is kind of below what your skill set already is. We will make sure you're always entertained and learning throughout every step of the way. That's one thing that we take pride in. So 42 weeks of delivery, 10 weeks to then prepare for the exams, coursework and listening tests. Now the way it works is everybody will, as I say, learn everything from grade 1 to grade 6, but you'll only be entered for one exam between grade 1 and grade 6. And the way we determine what exam you'll be entered for will be based on us monitoring your performance, your learning over the 42 weeks. We'll have weekly challenges, homework, mini tasks that will allow us to keep an eye on where you're at, in addition to your feedback and the support we give you. And we have a nice community on Discord where people are talking and kind of getting to know each other for extra peer support and stuff. We're able to keep an eye on that carefully and make sure that towards the end of the 42 weeks, we sit down with you and we present you with where we believe you're at in relation to the exam. And then you'll be entered for that exam with our support. And then you'll have 10 years. You'll have 10 weeks to prepare for that exam. And then you'll achieve, hopefully, the grade that you've set out to achieve, the one you deserve, and the one that your skill level currently sits at that time.
Yeah, just to touch on the Discord side of things. So we've got a group for the first cohort, and they're in there so they can sort of have peer-to-peer support, and the tutors can jump in and help support and ask questions, and it's really nice and lively. And it was only Sunday I was looking at it, and some of the comments and people are sharing their tracks now. And I just had this overwhelming feeling. I was going to actually text you, Andrew, and I thought, you know what, I'll save it for our chat, on Monday. And I just thought this is amazing. Like, I don't know, like everyone's journey, like within the cohort, but I just sense that it's an amazing opportunity to be able to provide some of these people that might not have ever been offered that opportunity before, or maybe even moving forward. And I just thought, wow, it's so nice and sort of gratifying for me just to be a part of it, and just see everyone just sort of getting involved. And a little part of me thought, you know what, I want to take this course and get them accreditations. I ain't got nothing. I've got nothing from school, man. I've got loads of stuff from when I worked, in warehousing. I've got loads of little MVQs and stuff, but actual education, I haven't really got nothing. And I thought, wow, man, like these people are going to have grades at the end of this. And I truly believe and I hope that they're going to go on and have jobs in the music industry and do stuff. And I truly think they will. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there. We do, we have a real sense of community here at Education and Base anyway. But, like even in this Discord group, you could just see that everyone's just there supporting each other. If someone's not sure about something, someone jumps in and we'll jump in. And it's just great. It's a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. And what's really good as well is we've got people on the course that have been making music for 10 years. Like a couple of people like myself returning back to fill in the gaps and, build on the skill set. And then people that have literally just started. One person's literally never touched a door, and we're, you know, and that was our challenge when we designed this content, to make sure, or this course was to make sure everybody could learn something. So yeah, it's definitely a lovely situation to be in, to hand it all down, and for there to be something quite substantial at the end of it, in addition to obviously the new learning. So a full learning program that covers 90 hours. I'm not going to go through all of this. This is on the, if you go to educationandbase.online, you'll see the graded syllabus landing page where this information lies. But just to elaborate on some of it, maybe where need be, and again, feel free to drop a question in any of the comments on any of the streams that we will get to. So it's 90 hours of guided learning over the 42 weeks, as I mentioned. We suggest that you dedicate around 5 hours a week. Now, that's not the lessons. There's not 5 hours of lessons every week. There's around about an hour, maybe an hour and a half some weeks. Excuse me, just had a big chicken pie, homemade chicken pie. Bit too soon with sparkling water, never a good recipe. Anyway, bit too much information there. So 5 hours per week to get involved with the learning, and then to practice, you know. So it's always good. Applying new knowledge is where it's at. You can learn, you can consume it, but without practicing, it doesn't actually mean a thing, and you don't actually embed the new knowledge. So it's really important that you practice, but we ask for about 5 hours a week. Academic grounding, built with academic grounding and industry relevance in mind. Again, RSL is taken very seriously in the industry. So if you go along to a job interview at a studio or a company, chances are on an international level, they may have heard of RSL, and they will look at that. And it's definitely a consideration. You know, it's not to say you need a piece of paper for a job, not at all, not at all. But I'm just saying, when people do see it, they know that extra level of challenges and that extra level of knowledge and education that you may have engaged with, in addition to what you present on your CV and your industry experience. It's a combination of the ultimate music production course and the RSL graded syllabus. There's no entry level requirements. So where you might go onto a level 2 or a level 3 program in further education in a college, you may be asked how many GCSEs or how many qualifications you got at school. Did you get English and maths? And you know, yeah, that stuff for day-to-day life is important, but we don't ask you that. All we need to know is, do you have a love and a passion to want to make music? That's all we need to know. And do you have 5 hours a week? And are you prepared to dedicate a year of your life to this? That's all we ask. Software agnostic, so that means doesn't matter what DAW you use. We've got people on the course that use FL, Logic, Ableton, Reason, Pro Tools. It really doesn't matter. We spent a lot of time designing the course to ensure that you can use whatever you feel comfortable with, to make sure you can get through the content and learn what you need to learn. Flexible approach to learning. So the content is drip fed weekly, the lessons. You will have your own login area. You'll log into Education Based online. You'll also get access to all of the other tutorials, but you'll have a dedicated area in your profile where you'll click through to your course, and you'll see each Friday at 5 p.m. UK time, your lessons for that week will be published at 5 p.m. And you've got a week in your own time to do the lessons. We also do, or we will be doing, live masterclasses. So we'll have industry guests from all different areas, publishing companies, the film industry, music industry, DJs, producers, anyone that we can get to come and inform you of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that will help you learn that other stuff that's important to actually get out there in the industry. Internationally recognised qualification. It includes the VIP membership, which is worth $149.99. Raf, a quick rundown of what those benefits are, please.
Yeah, sure. So, the VIP benefits. Now, there is lots of them. I'll focus on the key ones that we find that people really, find very useful, as part of their membership. So the first one, will be the feedback on 1 track per month per subscriber. So that's 12 over the course of a year. And basically between the 14th and the 16th of every month, from 9 a.m. on the 14th to 9 a.m. on the 16th, you can submit 1 track for written detailed feedback. Now, not only do we give feedback and guide you towards some content that will help you to, maybe address some areas of your production, but we also bear in mind that we are very active in the music industry. Just between myself and Andrew, we've got about 50 years of experience firsthand. We've worked with a lot of big labels. We continue to work with big labels, and we have a lot of connections. So we're always listening, and we also run labels ourselves as well. And we're always listening for music. Doesn't matter what genre it is. If we know that there's a track that somebody's going to like, we're going to pick up the phone and go, hi, I've got a track by someone here. You need to hear it. So we can almost kind of, without promising you the world, because we can't guarantee and promise nothing. But there's a term in the hip hop world called walking someone in, where as opposed to sending your demos to a record company and you never get a reply, we can maybe help that reply come a little bit sooner. Maybe help. We can't promise anything here because it's a big wide world. There's a lot of people making music, but we can certainly help push in the right direction. Another thing that's really interesting that we've got is EMB Sounds, which is our own little sample portal. Now it consists of over 1,000 sounds, loops, one shots, and patches as well. And basically you just go on there and you can download whatever sounds you want and use them in your tracks. We're going to be adding to this weekly as well. We have a lot of really cool sound packs coming up. So that's one thing there. You also get really good discounts on one-to-one mentoring as well. Now, one-to-one mentoring is just an amazing way to really hone in on certain aspects of your production. So you might get to a point during the EBRSL graded syllabus. It might be week 20. We're covering a certain topic, and you might think, I'm not really grasping this. I need to really hone in on this. Be a good time to maybe utilize that, and you get a 50% discount on mentoring. We also have a mastering service as well. Now, yes, we do the classic sort of send me a track and we'll master it for you. But what we really do here is a mixing and mastering service as well, which, is kind of, you send stems and we can really get into your track more, which is, something that is not as widely spread as the everyday mastering sort of service that you get. So we can really go into your track, help fix the areas, and also provide you with some feedback on it as well in the process, and kind of say, look, what I found is that you was a bit bass heavy here, or you had a little bit too much upper mids and stuff, and that's where we found we worked. So those are the 4 key ones. But if you look on the sign up page, you look on the get started button on the homepage of Education and Bass, you will see a list of lots of different VIP benefits that we had. We also do a lot of discounts on music software and hardware too, which is something that I kind of work on, where we try and connect with like-minded companies, i.e. plugin companies, hardware companies, anything to do with the music industry. And we get some really, really attractive discounts that we kind of, give to the VIP members first as a sort of thank you for their loyalty. And obviously, it's the VIP, so you get VIP treatment. Which kind of, if you don't mind, Andrew, brings me to the next part to do with the bundles that we have as part of the EBRSL syllabus. So for the January cohort, we had the Kilohertz bundle, which we still have now. And the Kilohertz bundle was insane. If you're not familiar with a synth called Phase Plant, then take a look at it. It's very widely used. It comes very close to the likes of Serum, to the likes of Massive, very widely used. It's one of 30 plugins in a bundle that's worth nearly £1,000 or just over £1,000. That's actually a part of the EBRSL graded syllabus. When you sign up to it for the duration of the year that you have your VIP annual membership, you also have access to all 30 of these plugins for an entire year as well. So that's a great addition. Now, I can kind of get that if you're at the very grassroots, you might not get into that straight away, but I can assure you, once you start progressing through the course, you're going to see some content pop up of this you know, kind of utilizing the plugins that we're going to be publishing on the website, you're going to give it a go. For the more advanced, they're going to be straight in there. It's just got absolutely everything that you would need. Now, I know that a lot of doors do have the stock plugins, but to add a little bit of spice to the situation, this bundle is amazing. And for the February cohort, it's just got even bigger and better, where if you're familiar with a company called Slate Digital, I'm an absolute avid user of it. It's just really fantastic high-end software, compressors, EQs, but it also has a synthesizer, and it also does have some of the kilohertz plugins too. But they've got a synth called the Ana 2. Sorry if you can hear that. Some person really revving their engine outside my house. It's a synthesizer called the Ana 2. The Ana standing for analog. It's an analog emulator. And this synth has now replaced what I used to use, a synth called the Omnisphere 2. For all of my soundscapes, my ambience, I use the Ana 2. It's a fantastic synth. For that bundle, or for that synth alone, that bundle is so worth it. So you can find full details of that on the landing page, or the sign up page, enrollment page. And yeah, those are the two bundles that come with the EBRSL graded syllabus. And that membership also lasts for an entire year. So for your VIP annual membership, you get for the whole year, you also get the kilohertz and the Slate Digital All Access Pass, which I believe the software is valued at around 4,000 Great British pounds. So it's a lot of bang for your buck, you know, as they say. So yeah, you know, you can see full details of that stuff there. The pages for them companies also linked on that page if you want to see more details about them plugins. But yeah, I mean, it's between them two software companies, you got everything. You got absolutely everything there. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I was trying to be helpful there. I'm going to the pages and stuff, and my computer's about to take off with a fan. So like web pages are taking like 3 years to load. But yes,
it's fine. I've dropped the link. I've dropped it in the YouTube. The landing page link, or the enrollment page link, is there. The full details are there. It's quite a lengthy page, but do take the time to read it, because we've gone over stuff at a glance and whatnot, but that really gives you everything you need. And of course, we're here for any questions that you might find off the back of that.
Yeah, so just to sum up, you get the 90 hours of guided learning, a whole year VIP subscription, the accreditation, so whichever level you come out at, you'll get that certificate there, which is an internationally recognised awarding body. You get all the VIP benefits, including the track feedback for A&R and technical feedback. You get the kilohertz bundle, and you get the Slate Digital, which, to be honest, I think it's pretty awesome, to be fair. There's a lot there, and it's certainly a lot to keep you busy for a year, to say the least, if not 10 years. But there you go. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly touch on some of what you'll be covering, and then we'll open it up for questions. I've seen a couple of questions come in, so thank you for that. Please continue to drop your questions in the comments. And just for those that have joined us, you're here with Education and Base. We have launched our new EBRSL graded syllabus, which is a 1-year program where you can work towards an accreditation by RSL London. And we've got many other big plans moving forward in the realms of level 4 and level 6 diplomas, vocational qualifications, and a lot more. So loads in the way of accreditation moving forward for sure.
I think it might be worth mentioning, Andrew, that we've got a little bit of an exclusive discount for people online tonight.
Yeah, for anybody that's with us this evening on the call, we're going to drop a discount code for the course in the comments before the end of the session. So please keep an eye out for that. And yeah, if you know anybody that this might be for, please do help us spread the word as well. That's always appreciated.
Yeah, the code is valid till midnight tonight. So yeah, you know, just act fast, because this isn't a discount that we'll be making public after midnight tonight, basically. So
cool. So some of the things we'll be learning include theory, terminology, studio hardware, physical audio formats, analog connectivity, computer and digital technology, DAW basics, microphones, MIDI basics, basic audio technology, and fundamentals of mono and stereo. That's some of the grade 1 stuff. We then go on to identifying studio hardware. We look at different types of compressors, different formats of music and audio. Again, more on connectivity, software components, DAW concepts and capabilities, more on microphones, non-linear editing. And I think you could probably see that there's not much that we don't cover, to be fair. And all of this is on the landing page that Raf has put in, or we will put in the comments before the end of the session, or you can head over to www.educationbase.online.
Put it on the YouTube stream so far, but we'll drop it in the chat for the Facebook.
And then obviously you can see up at grade 6, which is the higher end, creative uses for studio hardware. So, sound design, just being more creative and experimenting with hardware. More on audio formats, balanced audio, plugins, microphone recording techniques, advanced automation, synthesis. And we do also cover in the Ultimate Music Production course, which I'll go into in a second, we do cover some music theory as well, which is always good to have that foundation. And this is some of the stuff that's included in the Ultimate Music Production course of what we put together. So audio, MIDI sequencing, music theory, listening skills, genre analysis, sound design, effects, sending demos, writer's block, creative kickstarts, arrangements, mixing and mastering, the history of electronic music, business, DJ skills, tech and performance, studio skills, sound formats, and music production terminology. Says there, sign up for the January cohort, but obviously that's closed. We're now signing up for the February cohort. Enrollment at the moment is potentially monthly, but we're not entirely sure. Definitely we're starting a February cohort, which is what we're enrolling for now, but we're not sure how often it will be enrolling for moving forward as of yet, because we want to make sure that you're in the right place with regards to the support you're getting and everything's in check with the course and how it all works. We want to make sure that first and foremost the quality of the content is there. For us, it's not a numbers game, so it's really important that you're happy and that everything's running as it should be. So if I just changed, I know the views here is a bit wonky, excuse me on that. So as I mentioned before, the grading will be made up of internal assessment on a weekly basis, coursework, listening tests, and the exams. And that will be done towards the end of the year. But we will have kind of practice versions of all of this throughout the duration, just to make sure you're in the right place, or at least heading towards your goals of whichever grades you wish to go for. And you might start off being a beginner, and you might end up smashing it and just going for a grade 6, or you might come out with a grade 1, but that will be a massive achievement either way. No matter what you do and what you come out with, that's going to be the achievement. So, there's no losing, there's no failing. It's just you applying yourself, and even if it doesn't necessarily work out as you anticipated or as you would have hoped, you know what? Failure is a part of life. We learn by quote unquote failure, and actually there's no such thing as failure. I had to ask for so much help when I was doing my masters, extensions, I had academic support because I didn't have a clue about academic writing, but you know what, I was paying my money, so I made sure I got my money's worth, because this is what them support systems are in place for. But we're here to kind of guide you through best we can as well, make sure that you're comfortable every step of the way. And I guess, unless, Raf, do you have anything to add, please?
No, just I'm an avid failer. Failing is so important. It's the only way we learn. We don't wake up every day to fail. I don't think, right, I can't wait to fail today. It doesn't work like that. But be open to it. it's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow sometimes. I'll tell you what, you end up being better for it. So embrace failure, because trust me, the day that you stop failing is the day you stop learning and progressing.
An example of failure, me just trying to do all that resizing on the screen there with the different slides, and it was just all over the place.
See, and now you know that next time you're going to think, you know what, I might try that beforehand before going live, and that's just how it is. You know, it's all them little things. I think is being aware of it as well, like actually, you know, kind of analysing and think, where did I go wrong there? How did I handle it, and how did I come back from it? You know, because that's the most important part. You know, some people fail, get a little bit upset, and don't go there again. You know, a classic example, I was probably about 11 years old, and my mum's partner took me to kickboxing, and I went, and the first week I was a little bit bigger than the other people for my size, you know, for my age. I was kicking this young lad in the legs. He went down, he got a bit upset. I remember feeling a bit like, oh, you know, this is easy. The next week I went, I got punched in the nose and it popped. I went home, I was really upset, it was bleeding. I didn't go back. I was like, nah, I'm not going back. And that always really sticks out in my mind, because I think, wow, I would have been pretty good at it by now, 25 years later. Or not, who knows? But I just always think back to them points, and you know, I was only 11, so it's a bit different, you know, maybe. But yeah, just don't give up. Well, I suppose if someone punches you in the nose, you're going to be a bit like, well, I really want to go through that again. But, you know, it's how we bounce back. I didn't bounce back from that. I just didn't go. I bounced away from it. But yeah, always embrace, and always, yeah, just question why things went wrong and learn from it. That's the most important. You don't want to make the same mistakes over and over again. There's a problem there. But anyway, I won't digress and go into that whole deep side of things. There we go.
Thanks, mate. So, questions. I'm just going to scroll through here. Lawrence, how you doing, mate? What is the one piece of advice available in this course that you think is most vital for people looking to grow and learn in this industry? Oh, there's so much, man. I mean, I think through any learning, confidence is something that you gain when you build upon your knowledge. And if you're confident, don't mean arrogant, there's a fine line. If you're confident, that in itself can go a long way. If I go back to what I was saying in relation to after making music 10, 15 years, thinking I know a lot, but then sitting down with people that know the language, and I just felt like I wasn't in the conversation because I didn't understand what they were talking about. Or when I first got into teaching, and some of the students were like outdoing me with regards to the theory, which is, you know, you take that on the chin as well. It just helps to kind of have that confidence in your field. If you're a music technologist and you know the language, and you know, the more you know, you can just stand there and take on any challenge. I don't say no to any challenge now. Partly because what Raf was saying, because if I fail, so what? I actually don't care. I got told for so many years that I was rubbish at so many things and I'd amount to nothing, that nothing can touch me now. Nothing. I was 2% away from getting a scholarship to a PhD with no school qualifications, come from a poor council estate, ex-partners and teachers telling me I was going to amount to nothing. You know what I mean? I've done my thing. So confidence through learning. When I started to learn stuff, it all made sense. Like this music world just made sense just by learning. And now I'm a sponge. I don't, a day doesn't go by that I don't learn or want to learn. And I think that doesn't matter whether it's this course or what you do. When you learn, you get the confidence to just own whatever it is you want to do and plough forward with that. So for me, that's what I would say. Is there anything, Raf, would you like to add to that? Anything that you'd say from the course?
I think you kind of almost landed on it. Like for me, learning, well, like really established. I'll sort of unpack that a bit. When it's kind of really establishing, what do you really want from making music? Do you want to be a superstar? You know, do you want to be rich? Do you want to have validation from people on the internet when you post a track? You know, what is it that you really want? And I can only speak for myself, where I spent years writing music from grime to dubstep, where I just wrote music and I kind of felt like I was not necessarily with the grime, but with the dubstep, trying to prove a point and force myself into an industry that my sound didn't really ever fit. It's only up until the past couple of years where I started to really go into drum and bass a lot more seriously. And the reason I say it is because I have heroes in the drum and bass world. It's a very different scene. Like if I met people in the drum and bass world that I admire and look up to, I would be a bit like, whoa, that's matey. I might have to ask him for his autograph and really embarrass myself. I don't really have that in any other genre, and I mean that respectfully. But the point being is I really had to like really align, why was I doing this? And for me, it's a learning process. Every single time I get in the studio, I learn something new, and the music just writes itself. Confidence, that Andrew said, massive thing. I've now got to a point where I'm now confident in doing what I'm doing. The sound's always kind of been there, but the learning, knowing that this is all a learning curve from track to track, from EP to EP, and anything else from that, validation, money, respect, releases, that is a byproduct of me learning, of me just being hungry to learn. Now, not everyone's going to be like that. Some people might want to be the superstar. That's fine. If that works for you, go for it. But just really align and think, well, why do I really want to do this? And I think that goes a long way. Now, of course, for somebody like me that's been doing this for over 20 years, I've had to ask that question a lot of times, do a lot of soul searching to get there. And some people might get there a lot quicker. But I'm hoping that me taking all that time to get there, planting the seed with people now, might make them think about it and get to that point a bit quicker. So yeah, confidence and really aligning why you want to do this is so important, I think.
Cheers, mate. Jose Birdman, I've already got a degree at university level in music performance and production. Do you think I will still benefit from educational aspects of the course? It's a tough one because we have had, I was just chuckling there, because we have had people, even just on our membership level of our site, say that they've learned more in a couple of months than they did on their 2-year degree. Now, I don't want to mention any names with institutes, but I guess it depends how much you loved and took away from your course. I'm sure it was all there, but how much was it the right time for you to be soaking that up? Were there areas that you wish you'd spend more time on? Potentially, if you're at degree level, I would say maybe wait for our creative diplomas, the level 4, level 6 stuff, which is coming real soon. That is more geared towards, it's less of the practical stuff, and it's more geared towards kind of taking into industry. So maybe if you've done a degree, sit tight for that. But by all means, have a look, hit us up. I can jump on a call with you on a one-to-one and we can answer any questions, and we can go into some more detail at any time just to see, because you never know. Obviously we come in at it from a different angle than maybe some of your tutors did. So who knows? But certainly hit us up and we can have a conversation in some more depth. Liam, cheers for that. So Liam has dropped a discount code in the, I think it's the education and bass stream. So the discount code is EBFeed. No, sorry, that's the wrong discount code, isn't it? What's that one for? That's for.
I think he's put a different one in there, but the one for this cohort is EBFEB 10.
Okay, we'll drop that in the comments. So there's a 10% discount on the course that we'll put in the comments of all the streams, so Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. And we're enrolling now for the course to start on, what date's the start for the February cohort, Ref?
The start day is the 5th of February and the cohort, enrollment closes on the 4th of February. Now, as long as the 4th of February is a Thursday and the 5th is a Friday, that's correct. I'm sure it is. I've seen it 100 times, but now I'm thinking, is that right? Yeah, so it's that.
Well, I told someone
it's the first Friday of February, basically, it goes live, and the first Thursday enrollment closes. So
cool. Checking more questions. Tyler James, what is EBRSL? That's a good question. It's our new graded syllabus. It's a 1-year program with an internationally recognised accreditation in partnership with RSL, Rock School London. You can check out more info on www.educationandbase.online or check the links in the comments And I think, because I do get all the questions into one box here, hopefully I haven't missed anything. If I have, I apologise. Again, we'll be checking the questions after the stream, and we can kind of type some replies to any that we missed. Again, please do hit us up. What's the best email address, Raf, for EDU?
I would say I'd say edu at educationandbase.online.
Yeah, so edu, again, we'll drop that in the comments. Edu at educationandbase.online for more questions.
This will be archived as well. So if you do watch this back, then please drop your questions in the comments, and we'll reply to you, via there. Or if you do want to get in touch via email, we could speak with you there.
Just while I remember, big shout to More Superior Wear for the football jersey here. We're going to be getting these out there for the spring. Long time coming, this project.
Mate, a bit, yeah. Hold tight, Mikey at More Superior.
Yeah,
man. Legend.
Mikey.
Thank you, mate.
Check out moresuperiorwear.com. Peter, so 5 hours a week of time. Yes, I would suggest at least 5 hours a week if you can dedicate that. A couple of hours on a Saturday or Sunday if you work, or an hour here and there in the evening. It's not limited to that, and we will always make sure. I think there's probably 300-400 hours of content on the website as well, so you'll never run out of stuff to do, that's for sure. And I think, Adam there bigging up the Slate stuff. So just to summarise, it's a 1-year program starting first week of February. It's an accredited pathway in partnership with Rock School London. It consists of around 90 hours of learning. You will work towards up to a grade 6, anywhere between a grade 1 and a grade 6, which is the UK equivalent to a grade 3. There is a grade 7 and 8, and we will be doing a top-up pathway for that as well, if you'd like to work towards that. And as I say, we will also be introducing our creative diplomas, level 4 and level 6, which are higher education, kind of sort of university level as well. So there'll be a lot to kind of get stuck into. You can hang around for a few years if you like. And you get a 1-year full VIP membership, which gives you the A&R feedback and all of the VIP benefits, in addition to the actual course itself. You get the Slate Digital bundle for a year, and you get the Kilo Hearts bundle for a year. And the course itself costs £800. There's a deposit, and then there's payments for £60 a month over, is it 11 months, Raf?
Sorry, the payment's £850,
£850.
and it's £71.40 for the following 10 months.
Yeah, so there's a payment plan. We appreciate that £850 is a lot of money, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, when you think of accreditations, something like this would usually retail for something at least £3,500. And if you're thinking about the bolt-ons and the plugins and stuff, you're looking at up to £5,000 worth of value. So I feel like a QVC advert.
If you got it's £136 up front, and then 10 further payments of £71.40, but with a 10% discount, which is active till midnight tonight. You could do the maths. You could take a little bit off that, and it doesn't seem so bad.
So please do check the comment for the link to the landing page, the 10% discount code if you grab it before midnight tonight UK time. So those of you that are in other countries, it's currently 8 p.m. in the UK. So there's a few you've got a few hours grace either side. We have considered that for people overseas and stuff like that. So yeah, you have got a bit of grace there. And yes, please contact us at edu@educationandbase.online. And literally for the kind of next 10-15 minutes, I'll be jumping into the chat on the EMB Facebook, the Nominate Facebook, and the YouTube, and we'll be dropping in any links and forms of communication as well. And if you're not in the line of an accredited pathway, we've just got the new VIP bundle as a promotion going for how long, Raf, where you get the Slate?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we've got the VIP annual membership, which retails at £149.99. Always has done, but now up until the 31st of this month, we've applied the Kilo Hearts bundle to it. So you get about £1,000 worth of software that will run alongside your VIP annual membership for the whole year. I mean, yeah, that is a exceptionally good deal. If you're not interested in the accreditation side of things, that is something that's there.
If you want to use the website in all its glory for 24 hours, there's a 99p pass, day pass. You can use that as much as you like. So we've got anything from the freemium, which is the free content. You can sign up with just an email address, and there's about, 200 free videos, Raf, on the freemium content?
Yeah, 250 to 200 free videos, yeah.
You've got the 99p day pass, which gives you access to the rest of the site. You've got the monthly subscription standard, monthly VIP, and then the annual VIP promo that Raf just talked to you about then. And we've got the accredited pathway. For those that were asking, are we going to bring back the Ultimate Music Production course without accreditation? Potentially. We do appreciate that not everybody cares about a certificate or a piece of paper, and that's fine, but would still like the kind of facilitated guided learning of something like the 30-week course. So we're kind of in talks at the moment, and we may be bringing that back, but we're not entirely sure at this stage because I have had quite a few questions about that. So unless there's any more questions, we outie.
We outie. Out. Going out or going out?
Stay safe.
Nice one.
And
peace. Thank you.
Sean, we'll see you on the course. Nice one.
Nice
Take
one.
care.